Dodging homework assignments was practically an art form for students looking to avoid the inevitable hours of studying. From blaming pets to using creative misunderstandings, here are the top 10 excuses that were practically universal for getting out of homework. 1. My dog ate it. The classic of all classics. This excuse was so popular it's become a cliché. Kids everywhere claimed their beloved pet mistook their math problems for a tasty snack. Teachers rarely bought it, but that didn't stop us from trying. 2. I left it at home. A simple but effective excuse, this one had a believable ring to it. The line implied we had completed the homework but simply forgot to pack it. Many of us perfected the look of frustration as we realized it was still on our desks at home. 3. It got wet. This one required a bit of acting, as we'd often explain an unfortunate accident involving a spilled drink or a rainy walk home. Some of us even went so far as to crinkle up the edges or add a splash of water for authenticity. 4. The computer crashed. For tech-savvy kids, this was a go-to excuse. Blaming technology was especially effective for typed assignments, and explaining how we'd written an entire paper only to have it lost in the void of a computer crash was almost plausible. 5. I was sick. The timeless, I wasn't feeling well, excuse was perfect for getting an extension. If we looked a little under the weather or mentioned feeling feverish the day before, we could easily buy ourselves another day or two without much questioning. 6. I had to help around the house. Taking the angle of being a good kid, who prioritized family duties over homework occasionally worked. Teachers sometimes appreciated the narrative of a responsible student who helped with chores, making this excuse worth the effort. 7. I misunderstood the assignment. Playing confused often bought extra time. Claiming we thought it was due next week or didn't fully understand the requirements occasionally spared us. This excuse was especially effective if we asked a few clarifying questions afterward. 8. I lost my backpack. Losing an entire backpack was a dramatic, high-stakes excuse. Often met with concerned looks from teachers, it worked best with an air of desperation. This excuse could justify multiple missing assignments in one fell swoop. 9. Family emergency. This one was saved for serious cases, like a big project or when all other excuses had failed. Mentioning a vague family emergency created a shield against probing questions, as teachers would generally show sympathy and avoid asking for specifics. 10. I did it, but it's not in my folder. The classic missing folder trick was a low-risk way to buy time. This approach was especially believable if you rummaged through your bag and folder in front of the teacher, looking utterly baffled that it somehow wasn't there. These excuses might not have always worked, but they became staples in the unofficial student handbook of homework dodging. While teachers probably heard each one hundreds of times, they were part of the timeless back and forth between students and educators.